Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into wireless DePin.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a really interesting space.
It is, for folks that maybe aren't super familiar with DePin, just as like a really high-level overview, like when we talk DePin, we're talking about building the internet's infrastructure, not through, big companies. They're through, like, everyday people.
Right, like owned by the people that are actually using it.
Exactly. And what I think is so interesting is that we're not really talking about a theoretical thing anymore. Like, wireless DePin is generating real revenue. It's disrupting industries that we thought were untouchable.
Yeah. I mean, just look at Helium Mobile. I mean, they've attracted over 120,000 subscribers in just a year.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. And on top of that, their $20 a month plan is like the most affordable in the market.
I mean, it's kind of wild that they can offer such a low price by using that decentralized network, right, of hotspots that are owned and operated by individuals. And what's even wilder is that like big telecom companies are starting to get in on the action too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Helium Mobile's carrier offload program helps major telecoms expand their 5G coverage using Helium's network. And that supports a ton of subscribers daily, like 280,000 to 300,000.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And it really shows how this model can create these win-win situations for companies and for startups.
For sure.
And it's worth noting that like Helium itself has been making strategic moves, like shifting focus towards its HNT token and prioritizing Helium Mobile.
Yeah, they're really adapting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in a space that's changing so rapidly, that ability to adapt is key.
Absolutely. And so Helium Mobile is a success story. But DePin isn't just about mobile phones. There are really exciting things happening in fixed wireless broadband too.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about DAWN.
Okay.
What's fascinating about this project is that they are aiming to provide super fast multi-gigabit internet to homes at a fraction of the cost of traditional providers.
Yeah, and on top of that, they want to like completely change who owns the internet infrastructure.
Whoa.
Yeah, so instead of these like big monopolies, they want to shift ownership to individual households.
That's a huge idea.
It is, and it could potentially turn internet access into a source of income for people.
Wow, imagine like owning a piece of the internet and earning money from it.
Exactly, it's a really bold vision.
What I find particularly interesting is DAWN's user-driven network validation through their Chrome extension, which already has over 1 million downloads.
Wow, 1 million.
I know, it's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
It reminds me a lot of Grass's approach to AI data collection, where a decentralized model allows for like rapid growth and validation.
Yeah, I see the similarities there.
And what's also encouraging is that DAWN's founder, Neil Chatterjee, brings experience from the traditional fixed wireless ISP world.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, he previously launched a successful fixed wireless ISP operating in multiple states. So you have this really cool combination of established expertise with this really innovative DePin model.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's definitely adding credibility and momentum to this mice. Yeah, it's really cool to see that kind of established experience entering into this space.
Yeah.
And speaking of the space, it's not just Helium and DAWN out there.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, there's a lot of other cool projects. Like you have...
Really?
Which is tackling data privacy,
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
It's doing some really cool things.
Yeah, they're trying to decentralize the data controlled by internet service providers.
It's a big problem.
Yeah, it is.
That they're taking on.
For sure. And then you have Roam, which is working on these new ways to collect high-quality data from mobile users. But, they want to do it in a way that prioritizes user privacy and control.
Right, like actually giving users control over their data.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of a novel idea.
It is.
These days.
Yeah, and these projects highlight how DePin is addressing not just the economics, but also the technological challenges that the telecom industry is facing. It's about creating these systems that are more affordable, more accessible, but also pushing the boundaries of what's technologically possible.
It seems like there are just so many different pieces of this puzzle.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this space, for sure.
So with all these exciting projects and advancements, where do we see wireless DePin heading in the future?
Ooh, that's the million-dollar question, right?
It is. What can we expect to see in 2025?
Well, I think first off, like the revenue projections for the sector are pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Analysts are predicting revenues in the mid-8 to low 9-figure range for 2025.
Wow.
Which really highlights the growing confidence in this technology.
Yeah, and it seems like those carrier offload programs we talked about earlier could really play a role in that growth.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like imagine if major telecoms fully embraced the DePin model and integrated it into their core infrastructure.
Yeah. That would be huge.
It could revolutionize coverage and affordability.
Absolutely. And then you have the potential for DeWi networks like Helium to collaborate with satellite broadband systems like Starlink. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so this could be really impactful in providing connectivity in remote areas, where traditional infrastructure is lacking.
Right.
So combining these technologies could create more cost-effective and scalable solutions.
That's a really exciting prospect, like bridging that digital divide and connecting even the most remote parts of the world.
Yeah.
It seems like DePin has the potential to not just disrupt the telecom industry, but also create a more connected and equitable world.
Exactly, and that's why it's such an exciting area to follow.
Yeah.
It's not just about the tech, it's about empowering individuals and communities.
Right.
It's about building a more decentralized and democratized future.
Where people have more control.
Yeah, over their data, their connectivity, their digital lives.
We've talked a lot about the exciting potential of wireless DePin, and it seems like Helium is really leading the charge, especially in the mobile space.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've come a long way from their initial focus, on creating that decentralized network for the Internet of Things.
Yeah, they really have. Initially they set out to connect those little sensors and gadgets that are becoming increasingly common.
Right.
But they recognized this huge demand for affordable mobile service, and they realized they could leverage that existing infrastructure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
To meet that need, and their pivot to launching Helium Mobile has been a remarkable success story.
It really has. Reaching 120,000 subscribers in just a year is incredibly impressive, especially considering they're competing with massive, well-established telecom companies.
Yeah, it really speaks to the power of this DePin model, right?
It does. By decentralizing the infrastructure and empowering individuals to participate, they've been able to offer a service that is both affordable and scalable.
Exactly.
And they haven't been afraid to adapt and evolve along the way.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about their shift away from subnet tokens and their increased focus on the HNT token.
Yeah, I think that was a really smart move.
It was.
Streamlining their tokenomics, and prioritizing what's driving the most value, like Helium Mobile.
Absolutely.
Shows a lot of foresight.
Right. So what's next for Helium? What are some of the possibilities on the horizon?
Well, they've proven that DePin can work for mobile, so now they're in a great position to broaden their reach and impact.
Okay.
We could see them expanding into new markets, forming partnerships with more telecom companies.
Yeah, makes sense.
And perhaps even exploring other DePin verticals beyond mobile.
It's fascinating to think about the possibilities. Could we see helium-powered internet service or even a decentralized energy grid leveraging their existing infrastructure and community?
Yeah, potentially. The potential applications seem almost limitless.
They do. It's really exciting.
Yeah, but it's important to remember that Helium is just one player in this rapidly evolving ecosystem.
Right, of course.
We've got companies like Dawn challenging the fixed wireless space, really focusing on data privacy, and countless other projects emerging with innovative solutions.
It's a really exciting time to be witnessing this whole new technological paradigm being born. Wireless. DePin has the potential to change so much about how we live, work, and connect with each other. It feels like we're on the cusp of a major shift.
Yeah, it does. And as with any major shift, there will be challenges and uncertainties along the way.
Of course.
It's crucial to approach this space with a critical eye, asking tough questions and holding projects and companies accountable. Transparency and responsible development will be key to ensuring the long-term success and positive impact of DePin.
I think that's a great point to end on. As we wrap up our deep dive into the world of wireless DePin, we encourage you to keep learning, stay engaged, and continue exploring this fascinating space. The decentralized future is being built right now, and we all have a role to play in shaping it. Thanks for joining us.